Hi Kate, how are you?
I'm well, thank you, Karen. How are you?
I'm pretty tired, but I'm good. We'll all be okay now. Um, I'm just doing my last role play for today, which is our best practice. So being able to talk about the Indigenous Australians and what has brought them here, their traumas that they have faced, some of their culture and religion, and best practice being able to move forward in the future. So as you see, the first slide that we have here is called the Best Practice Guide, and it's by me. So if we go to slide 2, it goes on the historical value, culture of Geelong. So the Wadawurrung tribe is the most powerful and predominant tribe within the city of Greater Geelong. So their boundaries are from the Otway Ranges right through to Werribee coastline and inland to Ballarat. And within that that area, they have 25 clans that are actually in that section. It's quite a big area that's actually occupied. So going on to relevant legislation that has also affected the Aboriginal Torres Strait Islanders over the decades. So there has been various laws that have been passed on that affect the community. So it was in the passing of these legislations that gave Aboriginals more rights that were taken away from their Aboriginals more rights that were taken away from them. So they had the State of the Children Act in 1911. So the Aboriginal Preservation and Protection Act, which was 1939, the Adoption of Children Act, which was in 1964, the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Affairs Act, which was in 1965, and the Children's Services Act in 1965 as well. So the Aborigines Act in 1971. So some of these acts have been in relation, as you can see to the slide, of the Crown land and title, and also their native rights.
Yeah.
So our next slide goes into the connections, values and beliefs. So in the Aboriginal culture, there are certain practices and customs that are performed and separately by men and women. So as you can see from the photo, we've got a slide that contains some men's business. So in that time, only men are allowed to be there.
Yeah.
And if they share that information, then they can actually be charged through the clans. So you have your sacred men's business and women's business. So you also have sorry business. So it's also saying about the religion. So Aboriginals share the common belief that the land and all natural things possess living souls. So when someone has passed away, they go to the earth and become a ancestral being and inhabit it. So some groups continue to believe the supreme being of the dreaming. So this dreaming still controls the natural world. So how we eat, breathe.
Yeah.
So Our next one is the impact of trauma on the Aboriginal women, people, through colonisation. So it goes on to the cultural genocide of the stolen generation, marginalisation from the white society and poor communication and discrimination, our unemployment, so poverty and education as well, alcohol and substance abuse, domestic violence, accidents and deaths in custody, loss of hunter-gathering lifestyle, so which is losing their culture, so which can lead to poor nutrition, so low birth weight, diabetes, melanitis, hypertension and cardiovascular disease as well. So fixed settlements, fringe camps and urban ghettos. So poor housing, hygiene, overcrowding and infectious disease, which can relate to respiratory disease, ear disease and rheumatic heart disease and renal disease as well. So our next slide is about our family. So an Aboriginal family structure is more complex than a normal Australian families. So in their society, the social and marriage laws are based on groupings of people within their societies. So there is also a structure where everybody is related to everyone else. So the kinship system means that Aboriginal society can be named in relation to one another. So in Aboriginal aspects, an outsider into the group, they may be named after the person in relation to themselves, so they can fit into that specific society. This helps with allowing others to see their social status. So it also helps with determining who can be responsible for whom and who can marry who and who is responsible for one another. So Aboriginals can take up to 70 people in under their familiar relations. So as it shows in the picture here, that each family grouping is a totem group, and it could be an animal, plant or object that is believed to be their ancestors. So our next slide is our cultural awareness. So being able to know and understand history, cultures, customs and beliefs. So being culturally capable. So being able to, having the awareness of authenticity. Yeah, I know the word.
Authenticity.
And openness to examining our own values and beliefs. Yeah. So doing a culturally acceptable, appropriate action and behaviour. So being mindful that some of our things that we do in our own life may not be culturally acceptable within the Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander religion or culture. So our next slide is our best practice. So our best practice works on our family, ourself and our community. So within those circles that you have your ancestors, your extended family and your immediate family. So in the smaller circles, you have your spirit, the emotions, ourself and our body and our mind, which all relates to if our mind's not right, or something's not right with our spirit, then we can have a wonky spirit.
Yeah.
So individual and family social status. So it could have effect on your income and empowerment. So working with conditions, education and access to appropriate health services, which also can have an impact on your housing and physical environment as well. So in saying that, at the end, I've put a questionnaire together asking why would you consult an Aboriginal elder?
Or do you need me to answer that?
Oh, you can answer that if you want.
Oh God. I got him on here now.
Okay, no, that's all right. So usually if this was used in a normal setting,
Yeah.
it'd be asking for different answers.
Yeah.
So why we'd consult an Aboriginal elder would be to gain their knowledge,
yeah,
to show respect to them,
yeah,
and also gain an insight into their community.
Yeah.
So gain access to the community. And what are the methods that we gain feedback on our services? So our methods are through feedback from the client,
yeah,
feedback through our own self-evaluation, and also any feedback that verbal feedback, Dropbox,
yeah,
survey questionnaire things. So it also says, how would you rate the slideshow? So on a 1 to 10 basis.
Oh, 10.
10. Thank you. So you're okay that I recorded this?
Yes.
To show Mark?
Yep.
I don't know whether I asked at the end. I'm very tired.
At the end, it is the end.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
Not the beginning.
Thank you for listening.
You're welcome.